In this video we're going to do some factoring using the sum and difference of squares formula. And while we've already looked at the difference of squares, which was when you factored x minus y and x plus y, that only worked for subtraction. With cubes we can do the sum of cubes or the difference of cubes, so it'll work with minus or plus. And the only thing that changes in the answers are the signs. So for the example of x cubed plus y cubed, we get the cube root of each in the first bracket, so x plus y. In the second bracket, we have the first part squared, so x squared. At the end, we have plus the last part squared, so plus y squared. And the middle is the opposite of the product, so the opposite of x times y, so that's negative xy. And the same is true here, but the signs are different. So we have x minus y in the first, then square the first, opposite of the first times the second, and square the last. After we finish this, we know that neither of the resulting terms are factorable. Both are prime factors. So we're going to go through and solve a few of these questions. And I'll go a little quickly because I want to get through all of them in this video. I would suggest at the moment pausing, trying example 11, example 12, coming back, and just checking that you have the right answer. And just pay attention to the parts where you might have made mistakes. So we're going to start here. We have two terms that are cubed. So we're going to say, well, that's going to have to be x plus 2, the cube root of each. Square the first is x squared. Opposite means minus the product is 2x. Square the last, so 4. And that's finished. And because the trinomial we get at the end is not factorable, is prime, then we know we don't have to worry about trying to factor this anymore. So for this one we get x minus 1, cube root of each, square the first, opposite of the product, square the last. So we'll go to C then. These are two things that are cubed. 8 is 2 cubed. 27x cubed is minus 3x when we take the cube root. Square the first, opposite of the product, square the last. And so that's that one. The last one now, first we have a common factor. So we have a common and we have x squared common. So we take the common factor first, leaving x cubed minus 1, which now we have to factor as a difference of cubes. So that's x minus 1, x squared plus x plus 1. Square the first, opposite of the product, and square the last. So that's 4 very quick examples of that. In this box here, we notice a couple of things to remember. When we begin factoring, first take out the common monomial factors. We saw in example D there that until we did that, we didn't recognize that it was a difference of cubes. After you take it out, then you check, can whatever's left be factored either by difference of squares, so x squared minus y squared, factorable trinomial, so that's ax squared plus bx plus c, sum or difference of cubes, which we just finished, or factorable by grouping, which we saw way back in the first video early in this unit. Always remember to factor completely, and that's what happens when you take out the common factor first and then follow these steps. You'll get the completely factored answer. So we're going to do a couple more examples, and we'll finish then. So we have 5 examples here in example 12. Again, pause now, go make sure you get them right, come back and check your answers. So we have x plus 1, cube root of both, square the first, opposite of the product, and square the last. So that's that answer. This is again difference of cubes. So 2r, that's minus 1. Square the first, opposite of the product is plus 2r, and square the last. 64x cubed and 125. There's no common factors there. 64 is 4 times 4 times 4. 125 is 5 times 5 times 5, so we're going to get 4x plus 5 times 16x squared, square the first, opposite of the product, and square the last. So we're just taking cube roots and then squaring opposite of a product, square the last. In this example, first we're going to do the common factor, so that's x cubed and y cubed, leaving us x cubed plus y cubed. We should have all of our equal signs there. Then we're going to factor the resulting sum of cubes. So cube root plus the cube root, and square the first, opposite of the product, and square the last. In our last example then, first we're going to take a common factor. In the common factor we can divide each side by 16 and we're left with r cubed minus 27. Now we have r minus 3, this cube root of both terms. Keep the sign. Then we square the first in the bracket opposite of the product and square the last. And so that's that answer. So that was a short little video with 9 quick examples there. That's a rule that you really have to memorize. Again, do some practice, make sure you understand these. Hopefully you paused it and got those right. If not, go back, do them again. So if you had any problems, come see me, and we'll see you in the next lesson.